here and get this going here. Spotlight. Gina's. Oh. Okay. Hold on. Okay, I gotta enable. Get rid of that check mark. Bingo. What else did I forget? All right, I think we're restreaming. I don't know about the Facebook one. We'll see. Yes, that is going. Awesome. And it's weird. Okay, hopefully Gina reconnects there. All right, let me do this one. I'm awake now. What? Okay, cool. All right, guys. All right. We just had to set up some technical things there. So hopefully we are doing the Facebook group one. We'll see. I'll check in a little bit pretty shortly. Fantastic, guys. All right. So thank you everyone for joining. Today is the May 7th. The other night, my brother was like, "Hey, May the 4th be with you." I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. It was May 4th." And I knew it right at night. I'm like, gosh darn it. Anyway, today is May 7th, 2024. Thank you, everyone, for joining, especially all of our consistent weekly attendees that come in here week after week. We truly appreciate everyone that is joining here. So, for anyone out there in Facebook or YouTube or even here that is new, we do these on a weekly basis. Join us every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern here, 3 p.m. Pacific. We restream out to YouTube and Facebook just on Seth's personal page. But this week, hopefully, it is restreaming also to the Facebook group event that is set up. Actually, the I'm Awake Now What, as well as the water consciousness movement. So that's kind of a retest. I know that Facebook redid their restreaming stuff with Facebook groups and Facebook Live and all that stuff. So we're testing that again this week. So as I said, we hold these every week, so we restream over to YouTube and Facebook. Our main live event here is on Zoom, so we welcome you to join Zoom over here. And in order to find that link, we click right over here on the freedomsnap.org/Seth that you can find the Zoom live link. Join a newsletter, which we're merging into the I'm Awake Now What right up here, guys. And I think another thing or two. You can add it to your device's calendar so you get notified every week when we go live and all that other good stuff. So join the newsletter. Actually, the best newsletter place to join us here is the I'm Awake Now What right now. Okay, we're merging everything right up there. It does take several weeks for us to kind of get some things and you get some techie things, geeky stuff out of the way. So our format of the Coherence Meditations every week here, we have first 10, 15 minutes intro and a brief discussion, and we'll end it maybe a little bit prematurely to allow you to stay in your deep state if you choose to just drop off the Zoom and continue on your own. Meanwhile, we do encourage everyone to do this as a daily practice. Just take a little time off each day and perform these coherence meditations. The recordings are also available over at the Cosmic Gaia YouTube channel, which is right over here, guys. Just click your QR code there, and those are available as soon as we finish. I mean, it's uploaded right away. So last week's title was Get Chakrafied, and this week's title is Alchemize Chaos into Coherence. And if you do have a topic in mind, please do comment below. We'll check those comments and we'll add it to the queue for future sessions. And I think that's just about it. So get some water, get in a comfortable space. And what I do, guys, I mentioned this a couple times before. I actually have these little hockey pucks I ordered off of Amazon. So these go into my Bluetooth phone, and I just stream via Bluetooth some frequencies. I just grab those off of like a YouTube. I mean, they're posted all over YouTube, different frequencies and whatnot. So I have those playing in the background, and for me at least, it kind of amplifies some things. It's pretty cool. So let's switch it over to Seth. Seth, we always love you. Thank you for hosting these and getting all this awesome stuff. I mean, you got a gift, man. So, and that website right there is turning out great. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you
I'm
so
still
much.
waiting for my book.
Backlog. Don't worry
Hey,
though.
mention that to everyone. I forgot to mention that. So, guys, go over
Free,
there, get his book.
free, giving out free copies of it. So
All right.
thank you, Greg, as always. And yeah, the gift is all of ours. And that's why I do this work, is because I've seen people who have no idea about what meditation is or what heart-brain coherence is. And these guys could feel it. And it moved them so much that they were interested. And then the more it started to develop and they realized they have this own gift inside of them, the more passionate about it they became. And that's because it is a gift. It is truly a gift. Everything doesn't always feel like a gift, right? A gift you can return. So maybe it's not quite like a gift, but there's an innate knowing in every single one of us, around every single one of us. And when we intentionally start to tune into what has always been there, this is a miracle. You guys have heard me say it a million times, and I'll keep saying it. There is this profound, beyond genius, innate intelligence of some invisible form of bioelectromagnetic energy or lightning. It's some kind of lightning or energy that is really high caliber, but that works in very subtle ways. And it only works in subtle ways because it's preparing us to go deeper, to know more, to begin to tap into what it's really about. And everybody has that. Everybody. I want to say one more thing too before you get into this, and I'll explain more what we're going to do. But last week's meditation, like Greg stated, what was it? Get chakrified? Is that you called it, or
Get sacrificed. Yep. That was a takeoff. I was thinking about different titles, and the title came to mind, Grease Lightning, like the movie Grease, but Get Sacrificed for some reason.
classic?
I thought it was a clever takeoff.
Anyway, that is the one that everybody should practice, because there isn't a more direct way to not only just become conscious of what you are, but to anchor that expansive consciousness in every part of our body. And that kind of segues into what tonight's meditation is going to be focused on. And a friend of ours reached out and asked if we could cover mental addiction. And it's a perfect title. It's a perfect concept to focus on, because I don't know who read whatever I sent to Greg tonight, basically the description of what this is about. Who doesn't struggle with mental or emotional illness? Who is so in tune with the reality that their mental and emotional health is perfect, perfect intelligence, perfect, all of it? Not many of us, not many. And in this country, instead of getting to the root of what causes mental and emotional illness, they just throw drugs at it. The DSM-5, for those who don't know it, it's the Diagnostic Statistical Manual for all these mental illnesses that are mostly all in this country. Yeah, they're around the world. But the DSM-5 is literally, it's what every psychiatrist, every counselor, they all base the work that they do, because they were trained to have this big giant Bible, the DSM-5, labeling all the different mental illnesses. And it just so happens that there's a drug for all of them, or many drugs for all of them. And so then people started being like, wait, if all they're promoting is drugs to cover up these symptoms that they're diagnosed with, people like, how's that helping? And the reality is it might help in the short term. It might allow us to break really bad spells. But in the mid to long term, all of this stuff, as many of you know, it's our energy. It is in us. It's around us. It is what we were born into this world to do, to be. And I don't remember who, but someone was saying last week that if we're so bright and alive and close to God, you could say, whatever, you're also all these other forces that maybe aren't as friendly and that could be downright demonic or whatever. They pay attention to the lights that get bright. But that is the beauty of it, because that contrast of love and fear, essentially, we can sum it to that. That contrast gives us, the individuals who are becoming conscious of our entire, not just us and our life and our purpose, it's happening to all kinds of others around every day, all day. I mean, right? Don't you think, Greg? Like, are you seeing like more and more people are just waking up? They're
Oh, there's a
starting.
flood. Absolutely. I mean, everywhere I turn on Facebook, there's like a new channel popping up too, to promote certain things.
Yeah. So all that to say, mental and emotional stability and health, nobody's going to do that for us, for you. Nobody was doing it for me. In fact, the opposite happened. They were trying to throw the book at me when I was in jail. And all they wanted to do is cover it up with drugs. Do you feel anxiety? Yes. Do you feel depressed? Yeah, often. Well, you know what? Here's 5 different medications. We want you to just take that and then go lay down in the corner and we'll wake you up before it's time to put you in your cell at night. And so the world out around us isn't that extreme, but kinda is, when we get into alpha states, meaning we're relaxed, and that's what TV does. We are so much more aware of how we learn. You're in an alpha state brainwave, you're relaxed, and then the information enters into the subconscious easier. And we begin to form a sense of self based upon all the information that the computer feeds us, the TV feeds us, that all of our friends and family and relatives talk about. And it seems so normal. And in many ways, it is. But what is within all of that and around all of that is this miracle that we all are. That's the gift. So we're beginning to realize, like, wait a minute, if I stop paying attention to what other people have to say about my connection to source, they try to make you afraid of that. And they do that because if you are not buying into what they are selling, they won't have any customers. And why that happens, why we lose interest in all of that is because we begin to have an experience of what this life force energy is, this beyond genius, innate intelligence of life itself, our spark of life, the life force, all that we are and what we come from and what we go to is that. But we have this brief little window here where we just weren't paying attention to it because no one else was. So, if anybody has anything they want to say about this, because it's a huge discussion.
I think it
So,
is. It is
yeah,
huge. So you're right. Like I see just channels popping up, and it's just not channels that anybody's just putting up. These are doctors, some doctors and everything, as we all know with the thing that happened between, well, the orchestration of the agenda that originally happened October, I think it was 2019, and then it finally happening in 2020, guys. And being cognizant that this is restreaming over to a Google giant, that loves censoring things. I've been doing a lot of research, even let's say the past 10 years alone on just homeopathy and homeopathic remedies. And I mean, one thing comes to mind right away is like, that 1910 or whatever, like that early book, that Merck book of like, oh, you got this disease, this ease, this is a cure, but also just being cognizant of just like, for thousands of years, like we've had these natural remedies, to cure things. And along comes the 1900s, and we have the oil tycoons developing doctors, universities, and everything else, and and introducing the pharmaceuticals and everything, the oil-based products, and to our marketplace. And it's going to these doctors and everything that are starting up the websites. I mean, a couple of them have actually, I guess, passed away.
Yeah.
We know certain ones, but I also, especially getting into like our meditation practices and just energy frequency and self-healing, I'm under a firm belief that we can direct energies to different parts of the body and have it heal itself. Now, of course, when we get into certain things like, requiring an open heart surgery or something like that, we can't do that, but I mean, what's your take? And being cognizant, that we're restreaming like YouTube and stuff and Facebook, what's your take, like what I even just said for healing, like self-healing?
I mean, it's true. You know, homeopathy, all these things work, and none of them are mainstream because they do work. Such a simple concept, but it works so effectively. And even more than that, the normalization of drug addiction is literally what is being introduced to all of us everywhere. And through that normalization, that knocks us off balance. It keeps us from getting into our power. But that's just it. When we are in alignment with what we already are, and we prioritize it, and we create a relationship with our life force that we love, that we joy, that we cherish, the more we connect to it, the more in harmony we get with the parts of us that know how to cause self-healing in our body. That our bodies can, they're already doing the most miraculous thing ever, which is function. We're alive, we're here. Just the fact that I'm talking, and all right now as I'm talking, I'm thinking all this stuff, it's fluttering through my body everywhere, and the energy's coming out as I explain. If this balance of energy was off, or if the intelligence of it was off, so maybe like it's bypassing certain parts of my body and I'm knocked off balance, I wouldn't be able to sit here and talk right now. But to think that we are so resilient because this life force in us adapts, it adapts to survive. And the reality is, if we were more fully in tune with this energy, we would all be thriving. And I don't say that like the grass is green on the other side. I say that because just as the miracle of life, we can all agree it's here, causing the heart to be, causing us to see through these eyes, to hear, to walk, to talk, to eat, to sleep, all the things that we do. It's like if all of this energy wasn't in balance, if it was out of tune, so would we. So the very fact that we can get through the things that we do every day, and we're just like, oh, I can't believe I'm doing it. If we were to make more time to get in tune with reality, what's really happening, the spark of life, we would begin to unlock all these different layers and dimensions of our own unique perception in these bodies. And the more we turn all of that on, the more we activate all the plexus centers that are in all the different parts of our body that we build with our love and attention and care. And we make those centers stronger. And we start to feel and perceive that our five human senses, smelling, touching, hearing, whatever they are nothing compared to what it's like when you start being able to perceive reality from any part in your body that you have intentionally worked with your physiology in that place. And by working with it consistently, infusing it with your love, by making contact with it, like our friend Veda Austin, she's communicating to water outside of her and it's communicating back. When we do this in these bodies, we literally build up the ability to have more higher fluctuations of energy just pulsing through our entire being. And when our mind, when our who we are, when it gets caught up with all the inner work that we're doing, it goes to a whole other level, a whole other dimension. And that's why what we do with this is I want everybody to be so calm, their body so calm, but at the same time, their mind wide awake. And why is because talking about alpha states, all these different brainwave states that happen at different levels of activity in our bodies. But when we are in a spot where we are so relaxed, our body goes to sleep and the mind wants to go to sleep with it, but you've set up a reminder and you're like, nope, staying awake. The body goes to sleep, but the mind stays awake. Something happens in between those states. And I never would have understood this or knew anything about it until it started happening. First time it happened to me, I was totally scared. I remember just like all of a sudden, I went into it by accident. It wasn't like anything I'm going to do and here I follow that and breathe. It just happened. And when it happened, I realized when it happened, it was in between those two states, waking and sleeping, or total relaxation and wide awake awareness. And so I kept practicing that, kept doing it, and it kept happening almost every time. I couldn't always get into it, but as a result of continuing to train myself to do this, I opened up the possibility for this to happen a lot more. And when that happens, you go into the realm of the subconscious, but it's you, but you're free of everything you think you are. None of that is there. There's just awareness, pure awareness in harmony with the derivation of its source, in harmony with this crazy ecstatic life force potential that if we're all hooked up inside and you're feeling that powerful, creative, ecstatic feeling, that's how we thrive. That's how we have the ability to thrive. Because when you have like, you know, little goosebumps or duck pimples or everything just flowing around your body because you're feeling this miracle of how intelligent it is and you connect to it, everything, your goosebumps, it goes up. Start to do that. And I've seen it, people with extreme mental illness. When they do that and they make a habit of connecting to it, those old issues go away. Because how could they not? So anyway, all that to say that tonight we're going to go into these spots, into these places. And with that said, truth bumps. Yes, Quantum Mother T, truth bumps. I love that. It really is too. So let's get completely relaxed and we're going to become emotionally intelligent, mentally stable, and we're going to begin to really open up the potential for all of us to be able to turn on that feeling, that frequency-based feeling of life itself and just how miraculous it is, and just how most people can heal so much just by feeling that energy, listening to what it is saying. It's literally creating all these different frequencies. And if you didn't know what it is, you probably wouldn't listen to it. But when you realize it's one more mode of this life force introducing different ways we can reconnect with it and know it and anchor it into our being. So let's get totally relaxed. Wherever you're sitting down or lying down, wherever you are, before you relax too much though, let's get some symmetry in our body, meaning our head, neck, and spine are as straight as we can get it. If you're laying down, your arms and legs are kind of placed in the each or other direction, basically straight posture. And where your legs and arms are kind of the same on both sides of your body. Or sometimes people like to do mudras or put their hands together. That's great. Do whatever makes you comfortable. Because when we are in alignment, this frequency of life that we all are and that everything is able to flow through the entirety of our being a lot easier. And as we become more ready, more powerfully, our bones are literally made up of apatite crystals. Our entire being is crystallographic water, blood, all the fluids of our body are the most highly structured water that in many ways needs to be structured like that, because the symmetry and the structure of all the fluids in our body, in our bones, in our bone marrow, the symmetry of it all, crystallization, you could say, is what allows us to be able to conduct and move greater amplitudes of life force energy through our being that are within the realm of us being conscious of. And that means simply the more you create this space from the inside out, the more conscious you become. And if you stick with it every day, just like I do, just like many do, when you prioritize this habit, it will reward you beyond anything. It does take practice. It does take consistency. But know that that energy, that frequency is already there. And in many ways, you could say it is all that is actually there. Anything else, who we think we are, our socially indoctrinated creature habits and comforts, all of that is just this temporary blip of who we think we are. And when that isn't there, all those distractions, you could say, when they are not there, this pure level of awareness is there. It is the base for everything we do in this world to live. But the irony is that we do all of it. We do all the things that consist of our life, but we don't realize how connected we are with this miracle, this life force that's already there. So your body is in the best posture that you can. You don't need to push it if you're uncomfortable. Just little micro adjustments. And it's something that you can get better at doing along with the rest of this with practice. So you've got the symmetry. Now relax your entire body. See if you can relax your whole body at once. And if there's something in you that's not allowing you to relax fully, that's the part of your body that's calling out to you. It's literally saying, hey, trying to tell you something, but it doesn't communicate the way that we do. It communicates through an infinite amount of different frequencies of all tone, texture, and dimension. And as we become better able to recognize what is already happening in and around us, the more we're able to tune in to all these frequencies. And with our intuition, we know, we feel how we're being communicated with. And when you're in communication with your whole being, that is how you change yourself. That's how we create health, because when you can hear and feel all these frequencies in harmony with your heartbeat, in harmony with your breathing, that is allowing this natural crystallization of the human body and consciousness emanating from it. That is how we become crystallized, like Christ, Christos. All these words have so many different meanings. But don't even listen so much to what words are being said. Instead, feel the tone that they're being used to communicate through. And if you're feeling the tone, then really allow yourself to listen to the space between the words. And so the tone and the space allow those more primitive perceptual abilities to start being activated. And I say primitive because this is ancient. It's far beyond primitive. The living energy of our entire ancestral lines are wrapped up in the DNA of our body, in all the fluctuations of our heartbeat. All that we are here now is the result of possibly countless years of evolutionary development, of humans being born, living out whatever life cycle they're here to experience, and then they return back. And then that process keeps happening over and over and over. And if we don't seek to be aware of it, then we keep having to learn things the hard way. Because if we can't feel our body communicating to us, how are we going to feel and hear all of our ancestors that are all also communicating to us? So opening up the space for all of this to happen is how we encourage it to happen. Like so many here, we are done being imprisoned in all the different ways. And whether you want to call it reincarnation or the wheel of life and death, we have the ability to be so conscious of what we are here now that the more we are able to anchor in that awareness to our being, everything that we are has the opportunity to come unraveled. And as it comes unraveled, we are there to perceive it. It might get scary. It might be uncomfortable. But if we can trust life and let all of the energy from our ancestors be resolved in us, through us, now, then just by taking time to connect to this part of ourselves, we are setting them free. Everything they have experienced in all of their lives, whether it's beautiful or incredible or brutal or traumatic, everything that makes up them is all inside of us here now. And when we make peace with that and we unlock our own ability to set ourselves free by choosing to identify with this spark of life all through us more than anything else, meaning we are making a choice to identify with all the different feelings, sounds, energies, everything, all that makes us the sum total of what we are. We are intentionally allowing it to open up and to be integrated while we're aware of it so that we set it free. And when enough people start to do that, the whole world becomes lighter. And when we do that, so much of all the trauma and trouble and pain and anger and intensity or the things that cause our health to be off balance, when we set ourselves free from the inside out, we return back to that state that we were all in utero as babies. There is awareness and there are no words or belief systems. None of that has formed yet, but there is still awareness and it is bright. And if it's protected, then it's happy and illuminated because it's experiencing this spark of life without any of the stories that the world tells us about who we are, without the stories of what we tell ourselves. When we feel all of this, we set those stories free and we can remain like that. Or we can begin to tell a new story as individuals, as a species. And either way, whether we choose to go through this life without even thinking unless necessary, so in tune with life that you just trust. And if there's coming danger, your body is already many seconds ahead of it. We all have the ability to function with all of this greater messaging that happens to so many, but that they just don't pay attention to. And so with all of that, you're relaxed, breathe just gently, but a little deeper than usual. And put that smile on your face. It can be big, it can be small. You just put whatever smile you need to or you want to on your face so that you can feel something. A lot of people feel like they're happy for no reason. Others feel other sensations, gratitude, grateful to be alive. When we smile and we feel that feeling, and we get so good at feeling it in these relaxed states of being, that when we feel our heartbeat and the feeling of that smile carried through our heartbeat, it begins to reverberate everywhere throughout our body. Every beat of the heart, the feeling of your smile, your self-love starts to reverberate everywhere in your body, literally everywhere. And when you feel that feeling and you feel it pulsing out to the world around, that creates new ripples in the fluid like space that is all around us. And the feeling of the smile starts being upgraded. The smile is the foundation, but through feeling your heartbeat, being relaxed, breathing, that is the foundation for the feeling of your heartbeat with that smile pulsing throughout your entire being. And as it's pulsing out, it's also pulsing in at the same time. You start doing that, then suddenly greater possibilities of frequency that were always there, but that we just didn't focus on because we forgot. Feeling of your smile through your heartbeat, through every part of your body, while you are aware of this. This is setting up the conditions for greater amplitudes of this life force to get stronger. All the systems of our body, they are in love when we are. When we feel that feeling, just like flicking a switch, just flick your switch and that love light is there. And so when every part of your body is in concert to all of this internal alignment and sensory feelings start to become more turned on, more aware, because you are aware. And at some point, all the systems of your body literally feel like they expand so that, again, these greater amplitudes of frequency start to prime our body to get ready for deeper states of awareness with all of the natural universe supporting us, just like gravity, just like everything that's happening in space above us at scales that are incomprehensible to us. Similar events are happening in us. And when we are conscious of that, all of our illnesses, all of our emotional loops, where we go unconscious for a minute and we go into those old stories we tell ourselves that have been repetitiously installed throughout every part of our body and that we keep alive because we built it, whether we know it or not. You begin to free yourself from that. You will be so grateful that you chose to do this. And all the different types of mental and emotional illness that are in us, they start to become stabilized because we're not just addressing it at a chemical level. We are literally going into the source of all the cells and DNA of our body with all of our ancestry stuck in it. But that now we are freeing by choice. We are choosing to go into these part of ourselves with the feeling that the smile creates and with the knowing that we trust what we are and what we're capable of doing. And then from that place, the emotional intelligence of our body, this innate intelligence of life force, it reprograms all of the old stories and loops, and it reprograms them with you choosing to feel your smile in a relaxed state of being, recognizing that the pulse of your heartbeat is flooding your entire body when you just choose to feel it. If you have pain in your body and you take your attention and you focus on that pain and you're feeling that happy feeling of your smile with your awareness focused on the part of you that you struggle with, and allowing all of these elements to come together, when you can get good at focusing on that, even if it takes a few times to get good at, you will be so glad you did. And so many of the things that have held us back, that have held our ancestors back, we didn't even realize that was there. All of these collective pain body energies that have accumulated throughout incomprehensible amounts of time start being liberated. They no longer have to stay in these holding patterns that go from life to life. They are free, and our pure, childlike innocence of awareness that's elevated by the feeling of the heartbeat, and that the pulse of the heartbeat can be felt anywhere in our body that we focus. And by doing that, we become passionate. We begin to remember what we have access to do. And your passion increases. So just continue breathing gently, but a little deeper. See if you can feel the air going in and out of your lungs. And try to see if you can know what it feels like for all the air that you inhale to be fed into your lungs, and for all of that energy exchange to become absorbed into all of those areas of your body. It's almost like you have internal X-ray vision. And the most fascinating part about this is the more you focus in, the more these living geometric fields of crystallization that are everything and everywhere in our body, from the solids to the fluids. It is all conducted by these crystallized living geometric fields that are the material for life force to grow to us, through us. Let yourself really feel that smile. And if you can feel your heartbeat, try just feeling the smile in your heart. So you put the smile on, you're happy, and you're aware of your heartbeat. See if you can get that happy feeling into your heart, so that with every beat of your heart, that happiness that gratitude begins to start having more energy to pulse through every part of your body. And with enough practice, you can get to the point where you literally feel this happening everywhere in your body at once, because it already is. The only thing missing is our attention. And that's why we have to focus a little more in the beginning. It's why we have to take the time to be relaxed. The more we do this, the quicker you become aware of what was always there, but that you just temporarily have forgotten, but that now you choose to remember. So, with everything we shared tonight, set a reminder in your memory so that you remember the core of what we focused on tonight. It's actually so simple. It takes just a little bit of reminding. But once you know, or that you remember that you know, that's when things begin to happen. So you're relaxed, you're breathing, you have your smile, you feel it in your heartbeat. And you've set the reminder that you can get into these states at will, and that you will do when it's time for you to. When you literally feel like you're ready, it will already be there waiting for you. And if you brought water or tea or juice, as you can feel this smile in your heart without even thinking about it, just allow yourself to feel this pulse with your happiness in that glass or bottle of fluid, water, juice. You can literally feel your heartbeat in it with that feeling of smile, structuring it, making it more biocompatible to the totality of your being. Remember, we don't end with our skin. These fields of life force that pulse all through us also pulse all around us. And if we continue being open to the discovery process, we will be able to learn as much as we want to. We can expand as far as we choose. Remember, it's all right there. All you have to do is tune in with all that we've shared tonight. And if you want to stay in your own meditation, you can hang up. For everybody who wants to come to a more alert state, take your hands, rub them together, create friction. You know, when your hands are hot, the palms of your hands over your eyes. Just see if any kind of image or fluctuation occurs. It's like you can't necessarily see it with your eyes, but there is something there. Focus on that, or let it focus on you till you begin to focus on it more. That important relationship. And please share this, tag people. We've been doing this for over a year already, most Tuesdays, so we're going to keep going. Let's get the 100th monkey in here. And then the 1,000th. I think I'm going to go for 1,000,000, but Greg and I need to talk about that. All right.
We could do it. All right.
All right, everybody. Good night. Thank you. See you soon.
Like, share, subscribe, and get the free ebook, guys, or actually just the free book. Just pay the shipping right up there. Have a great week, guys, and see you next week.